Okay, let's see how this goes. It is Wednesday, May the 6th, 2026, and I think I've had my channel close to a year now, and basically it has been high carb, low fat. That's what I've been talking about. It's what I've been doing. Start off with the anybody that follows me here knows that I started my high carb, low fat journey with a sugar fast. I did a 30-day sugar water with cinnamon and V8 juice, and dropped 30 pounds in a month. So basically, for the most part, that weight has stayed off. There's been time. There was a time where I junked out a lot around that Halloween last year. Put on some weight that I didn't, and I dialed it right back in, just following the same strategies: high carb, low fat, potatoes, rice, vegetables, beans, fruit. That's pretty much been my staple. And it was basically while driving, while being out on the road, everything pre-made, all my meals prepped. So it was high carb, low fat, very strict during the week. The weekends I would play a little bit and just let myself indulge here and there within reason. And it's been a pretty sustainable journey so far. So why would I want to change things up? Why would I want to do something different? Because variety is a spice of life, because I can, because I like to experiment and I like to try different things. And especially if somebody is touting something and on YouTube and talking about results and things, sometimes I want to try it. Am I going to do a carnivore diet to try it? No, because prior to ever being on YouTube, I've done that kind of thing. I've done low carb and I've done fasting. I've done all sorts of crazy things. I'm 51 years old. I've been driving trucks since 1997, and yeah, wow, 29 years. Next year will be 30 years driving a truck. That's crazy. Time flies. So yeah, I've done so many things, and for basically, since my early 20s, when I was first introduced to, basically, it wasn't called a keto diet back then, but I remember like the zero sugar movement and the war on carbs, the war on sugar, all those things. And I spent a lot of years just, I can't have carbohydrates. I can't do that. So I've done super lean protein, and with basically, like, I've done chicken and broccoli. I've done higher fatty meats. I've done a lot of fasting in the past. That's how I kind of got into the whole sugar diet, was because I thought that, I thought water fat, it came basically all through all the years and all the different things I tried. And the fastest thing to get results, and believe me, I'm a results-based person. My personality, I like to have results. I like things fast. I don't like going this slow and steady pace. So fasting was what I had come to the conclusion that was going to be the fastest way to lose weight. Especially when you don't have an opportunity to, like, for someone who has a very sedentary job where you don't have the opportunity to go to a gym. Being a truck driver, you don't have the opportunity to hit the gym every day. So fasting was what I just kind of decided that was what it was going to be, part of my life, part of the cycle of life. You gain weight, you fast, you lose weight, and that was basically the roller coaster that I was on for years and years and years. Whether it ended up being incorporating my refeeds being like a chicken and broccoli type thing, or going with the ribeye route, you know, the fatty meats. But it was always fascinating. And then, of course, a year ago, well, just a little over a year ago, was the sugar diet craze, and Cole Robinson's snake diet, doing the sugar fasting and that sort of thing. And that's how I decided to experiment with a sugar fast rather than a water fast. See what the difference was. Could I lose as much weight sugar fasting as I could just water fasting? I had a lot of success with that, and that got rid of the fear of carbohydrates for me. My 30-year fear of carbohydrates was now behind me, and then I just moved into what just was a natural way of incorporating a high carb, low fat diet, and that consisted of fruit, starches, potatoes, vegetables, and beans. A lot of beans. So that's basically what this last year has been. And last summer I got into a bit of a body recomp experiment routine, and was putting on some lean muscle while still trying to, you know, not bulk, not gain unnecessary weight while I put on lean muscle. So that actually worked pretty good, and my channel, you know, I recorded that, and but I haven't been keeping up with the weight training. I'm not, to be honest, I don't love it. I don't love weight training. I know it's good for you. I know resistance training is good, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. In fact, I'm saying you should, if you can, and you have the opportunity to. Do some resistance training. It is good for you. It's good for longevity. I agree with all that. And you know what? I may get back into it. So here's the thing. Could I just continue doing what I've been doing, high carb, low fat? Yes. So I've noticed lately, and I hadn't been weighing myself. So I was on vacation back in January, and I was able to go on vacation. I was able to eat a high carb, low fat, and even, you know, have a couple indulgences here and there. And yes, I was having alcoholic beverages. It was an all-inclusive vacation, and I lost a little bit of weight, a little over 2 pounds or something in the course of 10 days. So I know just doing high carb, low fat is great. But when you indulge, if you indulge too much, for example, if I eat clean all week long, and I have 1 or 2 meals on the weekend that's a little indulgent, that just kind of balances out. It just kind of, it's a wash, and it's just kind of a sustainable lifestyle. But of course, you know, like life happens, and you know, you're not always as strict. And I've noticed lately that my indulgences on the weekend have been a little bit too much indulgence on the weekend, and I was feeling soft. So, and I just, you know, feeling soft, and I don't even want to get on the scale because I'm just going to be real disappointed with the number I see on that scale. So I just kind of didn't pull the scale out to check. I just was not feeling great. I sit down, and my, I feel my belly, and it's not as tight as it used to be. It's getting a little jiggly. I don't like the way that feels. And I actually jumped on the scale this few days ago on Sunday before I hit the road, and I was actually surprised. I wasn't way up on the scale. The scale actually was about where I was at when I was on vacation back in January, but my body composition is not the same. My body composition has taken a hit. One, I haven't been doing the weight training, so that's obviously right. If you don't use it, you lose it, and that's definitely 100% true. I haven't been weight training. Haven't been doing a lot of vigorous exercise in general. So we're gonna get back into that. But I just decided, you know what, I'm going to just try. I'm just going to change things up a little bit, and I'm going to go a little more. Well, I'm little less high carb for the next little while. Now, I know people get into camps, right? People like their camps. The high carb, low fat people like their camps. The high fat, low carb people like their camps. The vegans like their camps. I like all camps. Honestly, I watch so many different such a variety of people, and because the way I find people on YouTube, I like the person, and I like the journey that they're on. And I used to be a camp person. I used to be, okay, so when I'm in the fasting mode, I want to lose weight, I'm gonna just watch all the fasting channels. I'm just gonna watch all that. If I'm doing just like a chicken and broccoli diet, I'm gonna who on YouTube has chicken and broccoli diets, and who, you know, so I'm not a camp person anymore. I like to get a large spectrum of what people are doing and these sorts of things. And of course, you know, Snake Diet Cole Robinson, he's on the high protein and the vegetable thing right now. I'll talk about Joanna Colley's been doing low carb, low fat, high protein. Go check out Joanna Colley's channel, because she talks a lot. She gets into the mechanisms and all that a little more than what I would ever talk about. But so I'm doing what I'm going to be doing is something like that: low carb, low fat. Not really low carb, low fat, because I have certain non-negotiables. Okay, coming from the ultra, like basically zero carb background that I've done in the past. I've coming to terms with, you know, it's not carbohydrates that are the problem. I am not going to go like super low carb. I've been working this in my mind, what I want to do, and playing with macros, going on chronometer, and doing, you know, just plugging in numbers, because I want to shoot for certain goals. So this is a much higher protein diet than what I have been doing for the last year. No, I'm not doing like 200-300 grams of protein a day. And this is a much lower carbohydrate diet than what I've done over this last year. But it's not zero carbs. So my non-negotiable is I have to have 150 grams of carbohydrates minimum. I'm not going to go below 150 grams of carbs. My reasoning behind that is your brain is going to use 130 grams of carbohydrates a day, whether you are in ketosis, whether you got zero carbs in your diet. You're going to get the gluconeogenesis. Your brain needs 130 grams at least, minimum, of carbohydrates a day. So I want to minimize the gluconeogenesis aspect, be less stressful on my body. At the same time, I want to dial in the high carb, and I want to see this is the whole thing. I want to see if I can still feel energetic, because the chicken and broccoli thing, I felt like crap. My ass was dragging when I was doing chicken and broccoli. It was very effective to lose weight. It is very effective for quick weight loss, but I felt like garbage doing chicken and broccoli. So I'm going to be doing higher, low fat, and lower carb, moderate protein. So this is, there's my diet. Oh, okay, I gotta start that.